weeks of talking about it.
We want education to be moved back where the states run education.
President Trump is expected to sign an executive order this afternoon aimed at dismantling the Department of Education, a longtime goal of conservatives.
We have spent more than $3 trillion at this federal bureaucracy. What has been the return on that investment for the American taxpayer? Levels that are less than ideal, less than proficient.
In the Middle East, Israel has launched more ground operations in Gaza after days of airstrikes and despite angry protesters who staged demonstrations in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. The protesters are worried about the fate of the hostages with the renewed fighting. The government sees things differently. Mark Kansian of the Center for International Studies.
As much as they would like to get their hostages back, but facing the prospect of a Gaza that is returned to Hamas control, they're deciding to attack Hamas, trying to get a better deal.
European leaders gathered today to discuss peacekeeping if there is a deal between Russia and Ukraine to win that war. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
I'm clear in my mind that if there is a deal, and I hope there is, we need to do the planning beforehand, not after the deal.
The Trump administration has issued a warning about the vandalism of Tesla vehicles. Linda Kenyon has that.
In a statement, Attorney General Bondi says, quote, if you join this wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, the Department of Justice will put you behind bars.
The storm system that swept across the nation yesterday left behind a continuing wildfire threat. Jim Krasula reports.
The fires have prompted evacuations near a national forest outside Houston and forced the shutdown of parts of busy U.S. Highway 1 in the Florida Keys during spring break. Montgomery County, Texas Judge Mark Keough says authorities there are ready to deal with fires.
We don't want somebody to say, this caught us off guard. That's not in our DNA.
Red flag warnings for dangerous wildfire conditions are posted in the Dakotas and in parts of New Mexico, Colorado, and Nebraska. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
After this year's devastating wildfires, officials in Los Angeles are looking ahead to hosting the 2028 Olympics.
Everybody loves a comeback story. And when the world comes to LA in 2028, ours will be on full display.
The International Olympic Committee named Christy Coventry as the first woman and African president. On Wall Street, the Dow off 11 points today. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now from Minnesota's radio station, let's get you caught up with Minnesota's latest headlines and biggest stories on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 44 degrees at 3:03. I'm Laura Oakes. State Senator Justin Eichhorn making his first court appearance this afternoon after resigning his Minnesota Senate seat this morning. Eichhorn faces prostitution charges in Hennepin County after being caught in a sting operation arranging to meet with an underage girl. He is also facing federal charges related to that incident in Bloomington earlier this week. Republican Senate Minority Leader Mark Johnson says resigning was the right thing to do.
I would be more concerned if this was something that was hanging over us for the rest of the session. I think this is something decisive action needed to take place. And we did not want this to cloud up the issues of the budget going forward and the things that Minnesotans really need.
A special election will be held to fill Eichhorn's seat, though a date for that has not yet been set. Minneapolis city leaders are holding a press conference later this hour to announce a significant drop in violent crime on the city's north side. Mayor Jacob Fry and Police Chief Brian O'Hara say the number of shooting victims in North Minneapolis decreased by 20% in 2024 and is so far down 30% this year. Overall, gun calls were down last year as well. And so far in 2025, homicides, assaults, and burglaries are all down. We'll be covering that press conference and we'll bring you the latest in later newscasts. The Trump administration's proposed $880 billion cuts to Medicaid could have long-lasting effects to many Minnesotans. Today, Congresswoman Kelly Morrison spoke at the Hennepin County Medical Center, urging Republicans to vote against gutting the program.
Over 1 million Minnesotans rely on Medicaid.
I had a congenital heart defect and they were able to save my life.
Please support your congresspeople and let them know that we really need this. I've been a long time patient here. I don't know what I would do without it.
Linda and Joel are just two examples, but the proposed cuts could put others like them in danger. Congresswoman Kelly Morrison is urging her Republican colleagues to oppose the measure.
We only need 3 Republicans in Congress to stand up to President Trump and Elon Musk and say no to cuts to Medicaid.
In response, the DFL introduced legislation that would raise taxes on millionaires at the level necessary to offset any cuts to the program. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Experts at the Minnesota Raptor Center say treating bird flu may become a new normal for them.
Medical Director Dana Franzen-Klein says sick and injured owls, eagles, and hawks from across the state are continuing to be checked in at record numbers to their facility, and the virus has changed their intake process entirely.
They are admitted into a biosecure quarantine space. What we have to do is we have lots of precautions in place. So we wear things like Tyvek suits or isolation gowns and respirators and gloves, and we routinely disinfect to make sure we are not accidentally spreading the virus if the bird is sick.
She says since November, a more persistent strand of the virus has brought in even more sick birds, and that since the facility is a nonprofit, they're actively looking for donations to continue their work. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830. WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 3:06.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Problems over on 169. Update is brought to you by Urban Air. North 169 is midway toward Highway 7. It's a grass fire to be on the lookout for. Left lane shut down. Crews are on the scene. Northbound fire. You're also going to find southbound Gawker delay as you come up. Rather down from Cedar Lake Road. If you're traveling 94 eastbound, had a crash reported in the area of Cedar Avenue. Not finding it yet, but we are seeing a little bit of a slowdown through there. 494 westbound jammed up, Portland Avenue over to Penn. Urban Air is where fun takes flight with your awesome attractions. It's always an adventure. Visit urbanair.com today to find your local park and book your tickets, membership, or birthday. Urban Air, let them fly. Attractions vary by park. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Brought to you by ProTurf. Find them at professionalturf.com. And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The clouds will increase tonight, but we stay dry, falling back to 34. In fact, most of tomorrow will be dry, mostly cloudy, bit of a breeze from the northwest with a high up near 49. Some afternoon rain sprinkles are possible. Mix of sun and clouds on Saturday with a high of 43. That's the nicer weekend day with rain showers on Sunday, some snowflakes mixing in late.
Partly cloudy right now, 44 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You may have noticed we have issues. A lot of issues. Come help us talk about them here. News Talk 830 WCCO. Buckle up. Time for the ride home and the chance to get caught up on the day's news, plus whatever else he wants to riff on. This is Drive Time with DERUSHA.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Here's the star of the show and your host, Jason DERUSHA.
Are you ready? All right.
Now live on your radio and streaming to the world at WCCOradio.com and the Odyssey app. Here's Jason DERUSHA.
Well, we have a lot of sort of nonsense that people are saying to react today. I don't know. How do you feel about that brand of conversation? It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time with DERUSHA. We continue the conversation that Chad and I were having about two of maybe the most sort of controversial, inflammatory statements of the day. My challenge to you is, can you condemn someone that is of your own party? Can you do that? Probably not. We're going to talk about a number of different things today. Breaking news continuing over the former now state senator who resigned, who appeared in court, federal court this afternoon, charged with trying to have sex with a 16. He thought she was 17, but it turned out that it was a detective as part of an undercover sting fighting prostitution. And then Governor Tim Walz is stirring up trouble by talking about Tesla. I want to play what Governor Walz said that is stirring up such controversy. And I want to know what you think about it, because I got to be honest, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about the governor going after Tesla in the same way that many of you are. Let me play the clip.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you. Saying on my
Is that the governor cheering against an American company? Or is that a Democrat on the campaign trail sticking it to Elon Musk? Because I think it's the latter. 651-461-9226. I do salute the Elon Musk clapback where he said on X, sometimes when I need a little boost, I look at the J.D. Vance portrait in the White House and thank the Lord. It's pretty good. You got to give it to Elon Musk. That's pretty good. I don't mind Tim Walz going after Tesla because Tesla today is not just an American company. This is not Tim Walz cheering for an American company to fail. This is Tim Walz saying Elon Musk is a problem in his view. Do I think Elon Musk is a problem? Do I think you should punish Tesla? I think the argument that the governor should not criticize an American company is a load of crap. Like, what a goofy argument. And people are sanctimoniously all over the place. Well, the state of Minnesota has 1.7 million shares of Tesla. Come on. Is that the government you want? You want our political leaders taking a look at our portfolio? And then they make their decisions based on that? Oh, I don't think that's what we want. I'll be honest. I wish we didn't have to have any of these conversations because I wish we didn't have the number 2 person in the government also running massive companies that do massive business with the federal government. Call me old fashioned. But if you want to go into government, I think you should go into government. Now, I think the federal government is better off when you have full participation and full kind of listening and speaking out of people in business. I'm not saying there should be some sort of wall. But Elon Musk did this to himself. You're going to blame Tim Walz for making a sort of rip? That bothers you, really? 651-461-9226. It's disgusting hatred simply because he got his butt kicked and he's a poor loser. That's sort of interesting, right? Does it give you poor loser vibes? I don't know. I think we're beyond that, aren't we? Like, are we gonna, with today's politics, are we really gonna put on our pearls and clutch away and say, well, you should just let the president and let his people run the government? Come on. It's all right. It's all right. To argue that our elected officials should take a look at the stock portfolio of just like the absurdity. To me, it just could not be more ridiculous. Now, Dan, do I like the fact that you have workers in the middle, you have people who are, who own a Tesla, you have them victimized? Do I like the fact that, there have been some truly dangerous and brutal attacks setting Teslas on fire? Like, absolutely not. Like, that is outrageous. But are we really clutching our pearls over what Tim Walz said about Tesla? Does that really offend anyone that he's calling for the failure of an American company? Like, No one really thinks that's what's happening, do they?
I think, I mean, in the current state of politics, I wouldn't put that past anybody at this point. I'm not offended that he wants to take a shot at that, but I do think it's a reason we could step back for a second and think about the rhetoric that's being used in this country. Because I do wonder, I don't know that I can draw a straight line, but I do wonder if casually flippant comments like that have some sort of connection to the people that are burning Tesla dealerships. If we are that flip about companies and their connection to their owners who are also involved in politics in some way, shape, or form, you know, I mean, as much as people hate George Soros, who now owns a large chunk of our corporation, we want people, you know, burning down stuff in front of CCO? I would say not.
Isn't this a singular example, though? I just don't know that we can widen this out to anything other than Elon Musk and his consumer-facing company. Because you don't see there's just no parallel.
Yet.
What would the parallel be? What other?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I just don't think any other CEO would ever put, like, Elon Musk is a singular human for good reasons and bad reasons. But I can't imagine any other reasonable CEO that would put their company and put their stock in the risk that we're seeing here. Just doesn't make any sense to me. 651-461-9226, using his own words. He just comes off sounding like a dip in the clip. Is this comedy hour? Well, the texter makes a valid point. If you look at the governor's X feed where this video was posted, it does appear to be Showtime at the Laugh Factory, right? I mean, that is a valid critique. I do think our political world would be better off if we didn't have politicians competing to try to see who has the most viral, clever clip of the day. I'll give you that one. Let's go to Betty in Lakeville on the CCO Talk and Text line. Betty, thanks for calling CCO. What do you think about the governor saying that he gets a little thrill out of watching Tesla stock fall?
I truly believe that Elon Musk has just brought this all upon himself. I mean, he's out there saying all these things, and it's okay for him to say it, but if anyone retaliates, he has this persona that comes off, and I don't know, I feel like he's done it to himself. And I just don't feel that whatever Trump does, whatever, people elected him. We did not elect Elon Musk. I did not elect Trump. Right. But I'm just saying, we did not elect Elon Musk to be in the position he's in. And so I don't think he should have the authority that he's had. And I think that he brings it upon himself. And for Governor Walz to say it, big deal. I'm sorry.
That's sort of what I think. I mean, I will say, like, I like Elon Musk's clapback when he took Tim Walz's own words and said, when I need a little boost, I look at the J.D. Vance portrait in the White House. Like, that's pretty good. I think Elon Musk is actually responding to Tim Walz in a much more reasonable way than the goofballs who are like, the state of Minnesota have 1.6 million shares of Tesla in its retirement fund and 211,000 shares. Do you really want the governor? Like, come on. Do you really want our politicians looking at the share level and the retirement fund and then using that as what their guide is to conversation? I think that's absurd.
Yeah, I think personally, I don't think it was any kind of attack on any kind of an American company. It was a dig at someone who has been digging at everyone else. So I guess I don't know. I think people just, in this whole situation for the last 5 years, they need to calm down.
Betty, thank you.
Everybody calm down.
That is solid advice. We're just going to save that soundbite and just play it periodically on this show. Everybody needs to just calm down. Except me. I'm allowed to be hysterical. Mark and Kurt, stay on the line. You are welcome as well at 651-461-9226.
We need a quick pit stop. Then Jason DeRusha continues on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Window Nation wants you to give them a call. It's Jason here for the local team at Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. It's a great deal. And it's a great team. Window Nation has the best quality, energy-efficient windows. We're getting close to spring. You want to open those windows. You don't want them to be creaky. You don't want them to be stuck. You don't want condensation around those windowsills. Get the best. Get Window Nation, windownation.com, or make the call. You get a fast, free estimate, and they bring the showroom right to your house, so you don't even have to go anywhere. 866-90-NATION.
Hey, Twins fans, it's time for spring training in Fort Myers. Cheer on your favorite team at Hammond Stadium within the Lee Health Sports Complex. Then explore the islands, beaches, and neighborhoods of Fort Myers between games. Sink your toes into white sand, discover lush nature preserves filled with wildlife, and dine on fresh Gulf seafood. Turning your love of baseball into a relaxing vacation just feels right. Start planning at visitfortmyers.com.
I'm Karen Heintz with Baird Private Wealth Management. At Baird, investing and financial planning are just part of the solution. Just as important is our personal commitment to your success. Meeting with you, answering your questions, working with your tax and legal advisors, so you can see your complete financial picture come together. Focused on you, no matter what. That's how Baird's been doing business for more than 100 years. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdTwinCities.com.
March is National Sleep Month, and who among us doesn't want to sleep better? Well, Jordana here, and I want to share some information from my friends at Mini-Leaf. If you like to late night snack, okay, we all know that's not so great for our sleep. It also interferes with melatonin production. It makes it harder to fall asleep. But here's the deal. If you're truly hungry at night, you can opt for a small protein-rich snack, like a little Greek yogurt or handful of nuts. And along with this, the effectiveness of the Sleep Night gummies from Mini-Leaf is improved. I use these to get off Ambien when I needed to get off pharmaceuticals. I wanted to, and they helped me so much, and they can help you too. For National Sleep Month, make your sleep a priority. By the way, Mini-Leaf is offering a buy 2, get 1 free on the Sleep Night gummies during the month of March. Do yourself a favor. Sleep better. Let Mini-Leaf help. MINNELEAF.com. Tell them Jordana sent you.
Get into your local running store Tuesday and Wednesday, March 25th and 26th, where everything is on sale. Well, almost everything. For 2 days, save 10% on almost everything in the store. This includes regular, clearance, and sale-priced items, shop clothing, footwear, sporting goods, houseware, snacks, hardware, fishing and hunting, and so much more. Bring the family to your local running store and save 10% on almost everything in the store. Go to runnings.com for more information and to find a store near you. Runnings, now with 82 locations, your local home, farm, and outdoor store.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place.
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business.
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
This is Drive Time with DERUSHA.
Why do you keep having this scumbag on? Wow. Noted scumbag. Sleaze bag is good too.
I prefer noted scumbag.
Yes.
Right?
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Is Governor Tim Walz in the wrong as he gloats about Tesla's stock dropping? Or is this a unique Elon Musk scenario? Or is it a little bit of both? Lots of you on the line. I want to get to as many callers as possible. Let's get Pam in Minneapolis first because she wants to respond to Betty. Go ahead, Pam.
Hi. The last woman's response
kind of cut me off guard when people say, I feel this way about a person, but they're not really stating their feeling. You know, I think, anyway, I think that Tim Walz is very unprofessional. I think it's very petty, and I think it's uncalled for in his position.
It is.
And
It is petty, but look at it. Isn't that what the world is now? Sadly, I mean, this is.
My goodness.
It's coming from the presidency. It's coming. I mean, it does seem to be everywhere.
Yes, it is. It's just stirring the pot.
Yeah. Thanks,
You know,
Pam.
they want
Yeah.
peace, and it's just stirring the pot. Yep. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Very good. Thanks, Pam. Mark in Ham Lakes, you're up next. Ham Lake. I didn't mean to pluralize the lakes of Ham, but you know how I feel about pork, Mark. Go ahead.
Hey, I know how you feel. Hey, so first off, for every president for the last 10 years, they're all going to cut costs. They're going to cut costs. Nobody's done anything. Finally, you get Trump in there who's going to cut costs. He brings somebody in to cut costs, which we all agree with, fraud, etc. I don't know what this guy is doing wrong that everybody is on him. And then they go after one of his businesses, an American business, and they try and ruin this guy. Governor Walz is the biggest loser I know. And for him to make a statement like that is like Jimmy Kimmel saying last night, don't do any terrorism or damage to these Teslas, wink, wink. What is going on, Jason? I mean,
that kind of stuff is acceptable. Let me ask you this, though. If Kamala Harris were elected president and Mark Cuban was her number one advisor, wouldn't you expect Republican governors, J.D. Vance as in this theoretical example, losing vice presidential candidate, to take shots at Mark Cuban and Mark Cuban's business? Aren't Republicans just mad at this because Walz is a Democrat?
No, not at all. If Mark Cuban came in and started cutting government costs, and I don't like Mark Cuban, and if Kamala would have got in, oh my God, it's over. Mark Cuban came in and was cutting costs, I would be championing that. Why not? Yeah. What's he hurting? And Elon, he's got nothing to gain from this. The guy's got all the money in the world. He's got everything. He loves the country. He's trying to help it out. Just like Trump. Yeah. He don't need any of this stuff.
I get that argument for sure. Thanks, Mark. Kurt, you're up next. Kurt, does what Tim Walz said about Tesla, that he sets a little stock alarm and whether that's true or not, you know, Tim Walz, that could be an exaggeration. But what do you think, Kurt?
I think you call him a Nazi and say to try and kill him. Oh, that's right. They've already done that. Jason, my guess is you're in the top 1% wage earners in Minnesota.
Probably two.
How would you like it if somebody keyed your? Probably. How would you like it if somebody keyed your car?
I mean,
because they disagree.
Yeah.
Just because they disagree with what you said.
No,
and what you're doing.
Yeah. Right. Obviously, I wouldn't like that, and I don't think. Look, I think.
And you're very wealthy. You're very wealthy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm like moderately wealthy. I wouldn't say very wealthy.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You know. No, you're not. Or, people say they're not wealthy in Wisconsin. If you're over 60 grand.
Yeah. Well,
okay,
Kurt, we're getting a little off.
We're
getting a little bit off the track here. I think
you don't want to be on that track. You want to take care of your listeners who are mostly Democrats in Minnesota.
I don't know.
I understand that.
I don't know about that.
I understand that.
Yeah. I'm happy to rip the Democrats.
Oh, you always take the Democrat. Not always, but I should never say always.
Yeah.
You most of the time take the Democratic view.
I don't know.
Like today.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
like today.
Kurt, my
when are you going to take a Republican view?
Should we go back into like the show archives? Like when I think I've been
you're
compared
to
many
go back ways.
Yeah. Well, you send me an email, Kurt. I'll do all the research for you and send you all of the links of all of the times. I mean, come on. Chris is in Edina. Chris, thanks for calling. What do you think about Governor Tim Walz saying he gets a little bit of a thrill when the stock of Tesla goes down? I'm just not as outraged as people I think are pretending to be here.
Hey, Jason, thanks for taking my call. I guess as a Minnesotan, I'm embarrassed that he's our governor. People have spent lots of money in their 401k, retirement fund, whatever, investing in Tesla. If you look at Tesla as a whole, they've opened up their EV charger network to Ford, to GM, to many other EVs.
Oh, it's without a doubt, it's the leader. It's the leader in that technology. No question about it.
Yeah, and for
I've driven them. They're great cars.
For him to vocalize and really, say he's excited that their stock's going down. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's a company that employs over 10,000 people in the United States. They build a factory in Texas. I understand they're building another factory. I mean, this is an American-made company. It'd be like 3M or Honeywell. It's should be something that we as U.S. citizens have pride in. Yeah. And then when you get Waltz complaining about it,
so should you never criticize? Should a politician never criticize an American company?
Absolutely, you should criticize. We need to keep everybody in check. But if a company's doing good and employing people and building a product, and you've got a governor saying, "Oh, I hope their stock goes down," it's very incongruent with the spirit of entrepreneurship, freedom of speech, all of that.
You do make a good point, Chris. Because now I'm just blaming Elon Musk for putting his company in the line of fire. But you do make a very good point that what Tim Walz is criticizing is personal. It's a personal attack. Now, I would say Elon did that to himself. So I don't really think he's attacking this company. He's attacking Elon. And I think your point is valid. We do want our political leaders not to look at the state retirement fund and decide which companies to criticize and which not. But we should be reserving our criticism for companies that are actually doing bad.
I would agree. And if you look at, and I'll stop here momentarily, but if you look at like Steve Jobs or Larry Ellison, two entrepreneurs who, didn't always, please the public, but yet they did make a contribution. You look at, the number of listeners that probably have iPhones today. And, there is some good happening. Yes, they don't like Elon. Maybe it's because he's associated with Trump. But let's not take it out on the company itself by, wishing their stock will go down or burning Teslas or attacking Tesla stores. It's
for
just
sure
not,
we need to not be doing that. Thanks. Very good call. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's take Jeff. Jeff, you get the last word. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, I fully agree with Governor Walz. I'm glad he did it. It made me feel good because I feel the same way. I 100% agree with the caller, Betty, who said Elon Musk has brought this upon himself. He has. Makes me terribly nervous to have a unelected wealthy person having anything to do with government. As far as Elon, I have nothing but disdain for him. And I don't see anything wrong with a few burning Tesla dealerships here and there. Maybe that African son of a gun will pack his bags and go back to his fascist ways. You can just leave.
Too far, Jeff. I think that's too far. We can't. I get the personal disgust for Elon Musk. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I get where that comes from. We got to be clear in renouncing violence or attacks or anything like that. There's no equivocation for me on that. Good calls, good conversation. Let's break. Drive time with DeRusha. We're a little short today, just 2 hours because Twins baseball on the air here on the home of the Twins, WCCO.
Don't touch that dial. More Drive Time with DeRusha coming up on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, I was at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina right before I came over here to the show. It's Jason here for J.H. & Sons. Kevin is my guy. Dean is the best tailor in Minnesota. This business is incredible. Grew and born in St. Cloud 50 years ago, the Halberstadt family. Today, it's the next generation that has built this wonderful little collection of men's stores so good that these stores were recognized as the best men's clothing retailer in the country. We got them right here at Edina in the Galleria, J.H. & Sons. If you're going out to check out the flower show that starts this weekend and goes for a week, make sure you stop in and say hi at J.H. & Sons and take a look at the amazing spring fashions. And it is almost wedding season. Lots of guys I know are going to J.H. & Sons to be measured for a suit. Get the whole bridal and the whole groom party measured for a suit. Think about high school graduations and prom. Yeah, what a memory to have taken your son to J.H. & Sons, have the experience of incredible fabrics, incredible service, And maybe your kid will dress like a grown-up instead of a schlub. You know, something to consider. They got casual clothes, too. I was picking up an outfit to wear in Miami because, you know, you got to compete. You got to look good in Miami, right? jhnSons.com is where you can sign up for the email list, but go visit the store at the Galleria in Edina. It's JH & Sons.
It's Liftbridge Farm Grill Fish Fry season.
Come to Manitou Bar and Kitchen in White Bear Lake or Gabe's in St. Paul tonight.
Brad from Liftbridge, Emily from Gabe's in Manitou. You guys have lunch and dinner specials starting at $15.50 every day through the end of Lent.
Absolutely. All you can eat farm grill beer battered fish fry on Fridays.
Plus our new Lost Landing Hazy IPA on happy hour every day in March.
You can order online or reserve your table now at ManitouGrill.com and GabesMN.com. Cheers.
Hey, it's Benita. Getting your home ready to sell. It's a daunting process. You know how it goes. It's emotional for a lot of people to start a new chapter of their lives. Contacting John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, is a good way to start the process. Erica and Eric just sold a home with John. It was their second property. They didn't want the hassle of fixing everything up. They wanted to sell their home as is without sacrificing any equity. John assured them taking a cash offer below market value was not worth it. He could sell their home for more without adding hassle. He delivered on his word, and there was so much less stress for Erica and Eric. Their home sold quickly for $10,000 more than the asking price. Contact John for full details. 952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Spring is almost here. What a better way to kick off patio season than with a huge showroom giveaway from By the Yard. Denny All here. From March 17th through the 22nd, you stop at By the Yard showroom, Woodbury, Maple Grove, or Jordan. Enter for a chance to win a fire table, deep seat bench maybe, and a deep seat chair. By the Yard's maintenance-free furniture built to last, backed by a 35-year warranty. Stop by the showroom or visit buytheyard.net for all the details. By the Yard. Life is better outdoors.
Brought to you by Total Wine & More. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
West 694 near University Avenue, crash off to the right side. Traffic already slow as make way towards Central Avenue. South 100, County Road 81. Accident working off to the right side. 2 lanes of traffic getting by right now. So a bit slow as make way through the stretch northbound. Bit of Gawker delay as you come up from County Road 81, prior to County Road 81 anyway. Traveling Highway 36 eastbound, not too bad there. Snelling heading out toward Rice Street. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
We interrupt this broadcast for an automotive alert. Purchase the sporty 2025 GMC Sierra Crew Cab 4-wheel drive and save thousands at McCarthy Auto World. Why buy used when you can buy new for less at McCarthy Auto World? If you buy a new GMC somewhere else, you probably paid too much.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Weather is brought to you by McCarthy Auto World. Find your next GMC at McCarthyAutoWorld.com. Here is our guy, Chief Weather Dude, Chris Schaefer.
Clouds move in tonight as we cool back to 34. We'll call tomorrow a mostly cloudy day. Should warm up to about 49. We will have some afternoon rain showers that pass by. Most will stay dry. A few of you could catch a few sprinkles. The wind is going to pick up from the northwest behind that line, and we will see cooler air move in. Low 40s Saturday and Sunday with rain showers back on Sunday. Snow mixing in late.
I'm sorry, it's just checking the temperature in Miami, where it's 82 degrees right now. It's 46 here in Minneapolis on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DERUSHA.
It's a piece of art.
It is very interesting. It could be very euphoric, but could be demoralizing.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DERUSHA. He has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like our favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard as Drive Time transitions into DERUSHA Eats.
And DERUSHA Eats is brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board and Surdyk's Liquor and Cheese Shop. Well, if you thought we couldn't get more controversial than our opening topic, what's the best burger in Minnesota? It is a Minnesota obsession. I don't know if the rest of the country has the obsession that we do, but the Star Tribune today posted an article with 12 great new burgers to try in the Twin Cities area. The opening paragraph says, when designing a menu, they're on the non-negotiable list for many restaurants. They often become a bestseller. There are local Facebook groups dedicated to finding the best burgers. And for less adventurous eaters, they are a comforting sight on menus.
I like that description. I'm not picky. I'm a less adventurous eater.
Less adventurous.
I like it.
Their list of burgers to try include 112 Eatery, which has been around for 20 years. But they have brought back that burger on an ink. Now, is this less adventurous? This is what I wonder. Do people really want their burger all like chefified? So the hottest trend has been the smash burger. And it's really about simplicity. The only thing that really gets fancified is that maybe a chef makes their own melty cheese, their own version of American cheese, right?
Okay.
112 Eatery, English muffin, big hunk of brie cheese on there.
Yeah, that's not less adventurous.
That is not less adventurous.
No.
Although it's just brie cheese, Dan. Like you are at a level of less adventurous, that is.
I'm at an extreme level of less adventurous. I will admit that. But brie is not a common cheese found on a burger, and English muffin is not commonly the sandwich material. So I would say that is not less adventurous.
Also on their list is Altera, which is a fine dining. They have two burgers, but they also have a no-frills cheeseburger. It's just a little bit of garlic aioli, a couple of pickles, square of American cheese. That's it. It's a little thicker. So this is the trend that I'm sort of keeping an eye on. I'm curious about, and I wonder what you prefer, Dan, because you have the smash burger, which you think of. What do we have? Steak and Shake around here? I think we don't.
I don't believe so.
I like the kind of crispy edges you get on a thin smash burger, and if you do it right, it should still be juicy. It doesn't lose all of its juice when you smash it. But I like a smash burger. That said, for the last 15 years, every freaking restaurant that opens has a double smash burger, trying to be better than Parlor, and it's pretty hard to be better than the Parlor burger. I sort of miss the thick burger, like the kind of burger that you would make at home on the grill.
Sure.
What do you prefer, thin or thick?
I don't know that I honestly have much of a preference between the two.
Do you like thick with two C's? Thick.
Yes, definitely.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, that's how you do it. You don't really care.
Not in that sense. No, I mean, no.
I just get
for
kind
me,
of
it's more
bored
about
with
all
that.
the stuff that gets added on.
You want simple.
Very simple. Like even aioli, we're talking, that's more fancy than I need.
651-461-9226. Texter saying, I need feedback from a foodie. Are burgers with donut buns that great? Oh, do you remember when that was?
I remember that was a thing. I haven't tried it, so I don't know.
Well, they were asking for feedback from a foodie.
Well, okay, so that's not me. Good point.
Are they that great? To me, way too sweet. Now, the sweet and burger, the sweet and meat combo is not automatically bad. I've had peanut butter on a burger, which is surprisingly good.
Is that just the sweet salty combo function? Because I know people that love that, and I know a lot of people that love sweet and love salty, but not together.
Yeah, I think the donut bun was like a Homer Simpson inspiration, wasn't it?
I'm sure, yeah. But you could turn it into that kind of sweet salty combo if that's your thing, right?
Yeah, because you salt the heck out of the burger.
Sure.
To me, you have to be real careful with the type of donut bun that you use. I
can get too sweet.
I think it's too sweet. Okay. And because it's the first, so like not to get too nerdy about the bun. But,
go nerd out. Go for it.
But
man.
usually the bun is the first taste in your mouth with a burger, right? It hits your tongue first.
Sure.
And so if I'm tasting donut, like my mind sort of thinks dessert.
Then here comes the not donut.
And then you have not, and that's like
you get all kinds of flustered.
It's just not my move. But I honor your desire to maybe not have enough calories in a regular burger. Jim on Facebook, and we're streaming live on the WCCO Radio Facebook page, says Standish Cafe has an incredible burger. Highly recommended try. There's another burger in town at the, I think it's called the Arcadia Cafe. I'm probably messing that up. It's in Minneapolis. It's the Acadia, Acadia, the Acadia Cafe. I think that's a very under-discussed burger. That's right at Seven Corners there at Cedar Riverside, sort of by the U of M.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a delicious burger.
It's
funny that restaurants feel like they need it.
Yeah.
They need the burger.
Well, but I mean, I think, if you're a group of people and somebody like me is part of that group, you better have some of the basics, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be people there
agree.
that want to do all the fancy stuff, and that's great. I don't knock them, but you better have something basic so that the, silly picky eaters like me, the less adventurous eaters,
You have a new way to describe yourself.
I love that so much. I'm going to have it put on a t-shirt. Less adventurous eaters have something going on.
I think that's right. I agree with you.
I think you have to have that balance. I think that's just
smart.
A
lot of, yes. What's difficult for a restaurant is like if you start selling. Now, to me, I think like if there's anything you're selling that people like, congrats, you won.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to be a certain kind of restaurant and then the people just keep buying burgers, it makes it difficult to run your restaurant because you got to move some of the other products.
That's just it. Yeah. I mean, you got to go or you have to go where the money is, right? And you have to,
you go where the money.
Get a little less adventurous and just stick with what's selling. We had the guy that owns Wells Roadside, the drive-in place in St. Louis Park that was back during the Radiothon. And that put me in mind since I live over that way. I had some of that delivered, and that's as basic a menu
very basic
as it gets, and it was fantastic.
They make that burger in an interesting way where they put like some onions on the grill.
Yeah.
And then put the burger on it, and they have this sort of automated machine that just smashes it. The perfect amount.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It was really good.
It's really, very tasty. And
again, very basic, very simple.
In their single burger, the Oklahoma Smash is $6.
Yeah.
Which that's pretty great.
Yeah. Even I think I had it
for 10.
I think I had it delivered, and even with the delivery fees, which can just be ridiculous, it still really wasn't all that crazy of a.
I'm going to run some texts before we go to break with your suggestion. My favorite burgers. Both in St. Paul. One is the Nook. Oh, the Nook burger is so good. And Bay Street Burger Dive. Excellent. Another texter says Kuma's Corner. Road trip back to Chicago. Oh, I've been to Kuma's Corner. It's sort of like a motorcycle bar vibe in Chicago. Excellent burger. Excellent burger. Texter says the burger at the Lexington in St. Paul. Jason, a month ago, I had a burger at Brookside in Marina on the Croix. Thick and juicy. You get your choice of sides for $13. Michael says it was the best damn burger he's had in a long time. Minnesota Burger Bar in Apple Valley. And Dan, a texter, says you got to go to Burger Dive in St. Paul.
Burger Dive in St. Paul. Okay.
They got a Burger Dive. There's one at Rosedale at the Potluck kind of food court thing, too.
Cool.
Good stuff. Thanks for all the texts, too. Let's break. DeRusha Eats brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board and Certix on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is hitting the off-ramp for a quick stop on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The Minnesota Pork Board says if you want a delicious burger, don't forget about the bacon. It's Jason here for our friends at the Pork Board, and let me tell you, they get it. Our pork farmers love a burger once in a while, too. But, oh, you put a little pork on there. I've had burgers with pulled pork on it as well. Now, that's a lot of meat. That's a lot of meat. You got to be careful with some of that stuff. 3,000 family farmers every corner of the state. That's what the Minnesota Pork Board is. These are good people. I was watching this video today at Minnesota Pork on their Instagram page with one of their farmers talking about how much they take care of the soil and the environment and how much they care. It's pretty interesting. He was telling a story about how, and maybe the next time I do one of these messages, we'll play some of this video, because he was talking about the fact that when you buy Minnesota pork, it's supporting a guy out in the field or a guy working on the farm. It's not some big-time executive sitting in some fancy office. So go to the grocery store, go to the butcher shop. Feel good about it when you say, let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
At the University of Minnesota, our goal is to make sure what happens in Minnesota doesn't stay in Minnesota, because the discoveries we're making have implications for the health of the world. From the cancer-detecting AI model we built in Rochester, to how we're redefining mental health in Morris, to breakthroughs we're making in Crookston, Duluth, and the Twin Cities. Our discoveries start here, but they make the world healthier everywhere. The University of Minnesota, driven to discover.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros. Still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Spring cleanup is just around the corner. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that spring break trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials. Our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay is my go-to. They've got millions of parts guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop in, store online. South 100 and County Road 81 crash has been taken care of. Traffic is loosened up nicely. If you're traveling 494 northbound, got your slowdowns as move between Bass Lake Road and Fish Lake Interchange. 610 eastbound jamming up Broadway, heading over to Noble Parkway. Check off your grocery list at Whole Foods Market. Get no antibiotics ever air-chilled whole chicken for $3.49 per pound with Prime through March 25th. Feed the whole family with this juicy, tender man over rice. While supplies last, shop in, store online. Terms apply. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha here. The Canopy Group represents 16 different insurance companies, not just one. They give you options. Each year, they'll review your program so you don't have to, making sure you get the best coverage at the best price. Do like I did. Go to thecanopygroup.com.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Canopy Group bringing us the weather. Tonight, 34 is the low. Tomorrow, 49 is the high. Isolated afternoon sprinkles. Right now, it is 46 on CC.
You're listening to Drive Time with DERUSHA. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
We're talking burgers in DERUSHA. Eat your favorite burger. Let's get to Paul in St. Paul on the CCO Talking text line. Paul, thanks for calling. Burger Talk. Hit me.
Yeah. Okay, you've heard of cheddar cheese and Asiago and mozzarella, and those are all flavors, right?
Yes.
What flavor is melty cheese?
Melty cheese?
No, melty.
Oh, melty. Well, the best melty cheese is American cheese, don't you think?
Well, then what flavor is melty? If you're saying if melted cheese,
right?
Yeah, well, melty cheese has got to be a flavor.
Paul, you're either on something or onto something. I'm not quite sure, but I like the question. Melted cheese. Melty cheese. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. Jason, nothing beats Val's in St. Cloud. Lots of texts for Val's. My guy Chris Eggert texted in Lion's Tap forever. Lion's Tap is a great basic burger, and they I believe hand patty each one of those burgers. So it's fresh ground beef. They're patting it. They're seasoning it. It's pretty good. I do love Val's in St. Cloud. If you're ever like on your way to Brainerd, it is worth pulling off the highway and going to St. Cloud and going to Val's. Shaw's Bar on University Avenue, says a texter. Gordy's Hi-Hat in Cloquet. I have love for all the burgers. I will say this. If you're opening a new restaurant, I don't really need your burger. I don't need any more chef burgers. It's fine. You know, here's my pro tip for you, though. If you love eating out, order a burger for the table. Order a burger as an appetizer. Cut it in 4. Everybody gets a couple of bites. That's all you need. And then order the rest of the menu. You're welcome. That's DeRusha Eats. Thanks for hanging out with us on that. In just a couple minutes, State Senator Erin Maye Quade joins us.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Jason here for my friends Tureen Dermatology, that they just keep opening new offices all over the Twin Cities. Lakeville, the South Metro, congratulations, you've got a Tureen. That is the 8th location, and I couldn't be more proud of my dermatologist, Dr. Mohiba Tureen, and her awesome team. These are great people up and down the office, from the people who answer the phone when you call to make an appointment to the people who take care of you in the exam room. I first went to Tureen Dermatology for a full body skin checkup. Whether you've got acne or eczema, or you, like me, are concerned about the risk of skin cancer, Tureen Dermatology will take care of you. The care is personalized. The treatments are advanced. They are committed to giving you the healthy skin you deserve. So don't wait. TureenDermatology.com. 8 locations. They're in Hudson and Farmington and Roseville. Make your appointment. They'll get you in within 3 weeks.
where breaking news meets real-time reaction. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump has signed the executive order to begin dismantling the education department.
Sounds strange, doesn't it? Department of Education, we're going to eliminate it, and everybody knows it's right.
It's something he's long promised to do.
We're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs, and this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do.
As part of its investigation into the collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, federal officials are asking several states to take a closer look at their bridges. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy.
We're urging 30 owners of 68 bridges in 19 states to perform a vulnerability assessment of their bridge's risk of catastrophic collapse from a vessel collision.
The Key Bridge, which collapsed after a container ship hit it, was 30 times greater than the acceptable risk. Israel's continuing airstrikes and ground operations in Gaza now, and that's prompted protests in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem.
People dying, a lot of people dying, and there are hostages in Gaza. They are still waiting.
Gaza officials say more than 600 Palestinians have been killed. A federal judge has blocked DOJ from accessing personal information from the Social Security Administration. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the story.
The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOJ, has been going into federal agencies, accessing information and purging federal employees. President Trump has long said he would not touch Social Security or Medicare, but Elon Musk's recent comments about Social Security have raised concerns about possible damage to the social safety net. The judge's order blocking DOJ's access to the agency's personal information gives Social Security recipients and employees a sigh of relief, even if it's just temporary.
Scott McFarland reports a former FBI agent has been arrested.
Federal charging documents, the FBI took one of its former agents into custody as that agent tried to leave JFK Airport for a foreign country on Monday. The former agent's name is Jonathan Buma. He was with the agency a long time, but prosecutors say before departing in October 2023, he printed dozens of sensitive FBI records and was writing a book that included inside FBI information.
In a sworn statement today, an immigration attorney argued one of the men who was deported last weekend was a professional soccer player in Venezuela with no criminal record. On Wall Street, Dow finished slightly higher. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You could save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit progressive.com.
Albert Reed, can you tell me what the difference is in original Medicare, Medicare Advantage, and Medicare Supplement plans?
Original Medicare is your basic foundation. It's comprised of two parts. That's going to be Medicare Part A, which is hospital coverage, and then Part B, which is the medical coverage. Medicare itself is designed to cover about 80% of your overall medical costs with no out-of-pocket limit. And then you have your Medicare supplement plans. They're designed to help cover the other 20% that Medicare leaves off. Great for folks that want to pay one monthly cost and ensure that their costs are covered for medical. And then lastly, there's Medicare Advantage plans will combine all the benefits of Part A and Part B and likely will include Part D.
Okay, so why you care?
We're friendly. We have a local customer service available 7 days a week. We do have a large dedicated broker network that's willing to take all the time needed to help you find the right plan to secure your long-term health.
For more, contact a local broker and visit youcare.org.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Now from Minnesota's radio station, let's get you caught up with Minnesota's latest headlines and biggest stories on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Partly cloudy, 47 degrees at 4:05. I'm Laura Oakes. Our top story, embattled Republican State Senator Justin Eichhorn appearing in federal court in Minneapolis today after being arrested on earlier this week in Bloomington on charges of coercion and enticement of a minor. He's been ordered to remain in custody until a bed opens up at a halfway house and is not allowed any unsupervised contact with minors, including his own children. Eichhorn has also resigned his Senate seat. Minnesota Senate Minority Leader Mark Johnson says it was the right thing for Eichhorn to do rather than force an expulsion.
This would have been a cloud hanging over the Senate. We don't need another one of those, so now we're able to get back to work.
Eichhorn was also charged with prostitution in Hennepin County, but that case was dismissed because the federal charges take precedence. Lawmakers in the Minnesota House holding a public hearing today on Governor Walz's proposed fraud prevention package that looks to crack down on financial crimes that cost the state hundreds of millions of dollars. DFL Representative David Pinto on the WCCO Morning News with Vanita Sokar.
There's just a general interest, I think, across all legislators in saying, what can we do to make sure that public dollars are going to the people who actually need them the most? It's kind of a core Minnesota value. So I'm very hopeful that quite a lot of this will have broad support.
The bill looks to stop fraud before it happens while increasing criminal penalties. The Trump administration attempting to reduce federal funding to Medicaid by $880 million, a move that could affect more than 1 million Minnesotans who rely on it. Congresswomen Ilhan Omar and Kelly Morrison speaking out against that at Hennepin County Medical Center today. Morrison urging her colleagues across the aisle to resist.
We need Republicans in Congress who have the majority and control the agenda to stand with the people of Minnesota, to stand with the American people, to put people's health care over tax cuts for billionaires.
State DFL lawmakers also have introduced a bill that would raise taxes on millionaires at the level necessary to offset any cuts to the program. And finally, as bird flu continues to wreak havoc on dairy farms and poultry facilities, it has now begun to target Minnesota's local wildlife. A rising number of great horned owls, bald eagles, and red-tailed hawks have been dying from the virus. Medical director for the Minnesota Raptor Center, Dana Franzen-Klein, says despite the rising cases, their research shows some birds are beginning to adapt.
And actually what we're seeing is that we are admitting birds into our hospital that do have antibodies to high-path avian flu, especially our bald eagles, meaning they were exposed to the virus and they survived exposure. So that is giving us really helpful information about how our wild raptors are adapting to this outbreak.
She says while she's hopeful about where things are headed, if infections in the wild don't slow down, Minnesota will continue to see a risk, particularly for commercial poultry farms. WCCO News Time is 4:08.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Brought to you by Linda's Construction, lindasconstruction.com. Westbound 394 Worth Parkway, crash off to the right, jamming things up as you come out of downtown Minneapolis. Eastbound jammed up as well as you come in from 100 toward downtown. Traveling north 494, that's a slow ride. Bass Lake Road to the Fish Lake Interchange. North 52 jammed up across the Lafayette Bridge. March is a great time to call Linda's Construction. Get free installation labor on GAF asphalt shingles, leaf guard gutters, and Infinity from Marvin Windows. lindasconstruction.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
March is National Sleep Month. Who among us doesn't want to sleep better? Jordana here, and I want to share some information from my friends at Mini Leaf. A buy two, get one free on the Sleep Night Gummies during the month of March. MINNELEAF.com.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Brought to you by Mini Leaf, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. Find them at minileaf.com. And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The clouds will increase tonight, but we stay dry, falling back to 34. In fact, most of tomorrow will be dry, mostly cloudy. Bit of a breeze from the northwest with a high up near 49. Some afternoon rain sprinkles are possible. Mix of sun and clouds on Saturday with a high of 43. That's the nicer weekend day with rain showers on Sunday, some snowflakes mixing in late.
Partly cloudy right now, 47 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
If it's on your mind, it's on our airwaves. News Talk 830 WCCO. No suit, no tie, just DERUSHA. It's drive time. Live from the WCCO studios, high atop the Odyssey Tower.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise.
I'm super excited to introduce to you
Jason DERUSHA.
On the face of it, a state senator saying that the Republican Party as a whole has an issue with, quote, sexual predation and being rewarded. When I heard that and read that statement, Tom Hauser tweeted out from DFL Senator Erin Maye Quade reacting to Justin Eichhorn, the Republican state senator, now former state senator, who was in federal court today after getting busted texting who he thought was a prostitute and who he thought was a 17-year-old girl. To be clear, it's very easy, and universally everyone has said Eichhorn has problems. What he did was sick. If he's found guilty, but just the accusation is enough, he should go. That's easy. Stepping it out, zooming out, and accusing an entire party of having a problem with this, at first blush, I think you got to look at that and say, huh, really? Which is why we invited State Senator Erin Maye Quade onto this show. And she's with us right now on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline because she is getting almost universally roasted for this take. And I want to give her a chance to talk about what she's saying, because my first reaction, as you heard, State Senator, was like, come on, you can't paint a whole party with that brush. What were you trying? What were you saying? What were you talking about there?
Well, hi, Jason. Thanks for having me on. I mean, what I really want to zoom out to, and I'm glad you used that word, is that Republican lawmakers in Minnesota and across the U.S., they have tried to call themselves defenders of women and girls. They've slandered the LGBTQ community, which I'm part of, falsely accusing us of being groomers and pedophiles. And those accusations are incredibly baseless and dangerous. And what I said is that the party who are spreading these lies should take a hard look at the individuals they associate with and confront the real predators in their own rank. You know, I didn't hear any of my colleagues in the Senate call for Matt Gaetz, who has credible allegations of soliciting sex from a minor, to not be Attorney General, or for Jim Jordan, or Linda McMahon to not be the Secretary of Education, or RFK Jr., or Donald Trump. In fact, you know, Eichhorn and other colleagues introduced a bill calling people who have a strong reaction to Donald Trump deranged, right? Trump derangement syndrome classified as a mental illness. I didn't hear them say that about Pete Hegseth or Brett Kavanaugh. And so my call and my plea is to ask my Republican colleagues who did the right thing here with Justin Eichhorn to do that with other Republicans, because victim survivors see it and they feel it, and it just feels like their pain, their suffering, the predation that they have suffered from is meaningless, that their stories don't matter, and that this is fine as long as it serves, and I hate to say a political agenda, because these are real people. That could have been a real child on the other end of the phone from Eichhorn. And it's time that we say that out loud, and that's what I said today.
So let's unpack this a little bit, because I think, first of all, equating some of these national figures who are accused of sexual harassment or other sort of sex crimes with adults, to me, that's very different than, and I do want to talk more about that, because the more I thought about this, the more I thought, well, like, I don't know if I agree here, but I do think there may be something to one party being a little more forgiving or a little more permissive or a little more giving the benefit of the doubt to the accused man in this scenario. But are you really saying that the Republicans have an issue with kind of preying on children? Like, I just haven't seen any evidence to indicate that that would be true.
No, and what I said was I want Republicans to confront the real predators that have been accused in their own rank, right?
So by
Because, of
predators,
course,
do you mean
when-
against children or do you mean against women?
Both. I mean, Matt Gaetz, right, was nominated to be Attorney General. He has very credible allegations that a House Republican Oversight Committee found themselves.
Right, but are you arguing that there are no Democrats that have those sorts of allegations? I mean, I've looked at a number of reports that have been done about state politicians all around the country, and there are allegations of sexual harassment, and this sort of behavior doesn't seem to know a party.
And I think, Jason, what the important point for me was to make sure that the stance that my Republican colleagues took, I want them to extend that to the rest of the people who have a lot of power in this country that are in their party, because they obviously can do it. And that is what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to ascribe to any one party, any sort of proclivities. I'm asking for that moral courage that we saw this week to extend beyond this week.
Senator,
which is why I think I said Republican lawmakers, that's what I asked them to do.
The quote that I'm reading, and you tell me if it's wrong because I haven't heard the audio of it yet, but the quote I'm reading is, Mr. Eichhorn was not an anomaly. He is a symptom. The Republican Party has created a permission structure for Republican leaders to act with sexual predation and be rewarded. It is time for our Republican colleagues to look in the mirror, do some very real work to dismantle the permission structure that gives Republicans the feeling that they can go about doing this vile behavior to prey on a child. Frankly, I'm a little sympathetic to your accusation that Republicans are more willing to kind of turn a blind eye to sort of this adult sexual harassment or this sort of power imbalance sexual harassment. But I cannot in any way see any evidence to support this idea that there's some sort of Republican permission to have vile behavior to prey on a child. I'm just not sure I'm there with you.
I understand that, and that's okay. I mean, I think it's important that we have this conversation. I'll use Linda McMahon, since the Trump administration is threatening to dismantle the Department of Education. She's the Secretary of Education in the United States. She's in charge of overseeing the 50 million children that we have in schools, public and private, and enforcing Title IX, which they've, ended all of those. There were very real and credible allegations that she turned a blind eye to the sex abuse at the hands of her own employees at the WWE. That is a huge problem. And she wasn't asked to account for that. It didn't make her unconfirmable to Republicans in the Senate. I didn't see any of my colleagues saying, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. And so what I'm saying is that when people have these very credible allegations, and then they're rewarded with positions in an administration, people attend the inauguration, they go to the State of the Union, I think that's a problem. And any person who has been worked in this area or been a victim of child sexual abuse sees that too. And what they see is that those stories don't matter, those allegations don't matter, and it's fine. And here is more power. And that is what I'm trying to bring to light.
State Senator Erin Maye Quade with us, a DFLer. Do you really think that Republicans have an issue more than anybody else with child predation, with preying on children in this area?
No, and that's not what I said.
You want to see more calling of account?
Accountability. Yes,
so it's not the action. It's not the behavior. There are pervs of every party.
Yeah.
There are sickos of every party.
Unfortunately, yes, absolutely. What I want to see is the actions and the accountability that I saw my Republican colleagues have this week. I want to see that continue.
So just so I understand you correctly, your issue is more about the calling to account for behavior. It's not.
Absolutely.
It's not saying, because I think the way I read that quote, my initial read is you saying that Republicans have a perv problem, and you're saying Republicans have a problem with calling out pervs.
And bringing to account, yes, the accountability to those, especially the ones they have the most power to call account to, right? I think we all can acknowledge right now that Republicans in Washington don't care a lot about what Democrats think, but they care what other Republicans think. And it makes my colleagues here in this state have a lot of power to elevate these issues, to say, no, this isn't okay. This isn't someone who deserves more power. We can pick somebody else. That is what I'm calling for.
You know, Matt Gaetz did get, he did get sort of shoved to the side. So I don't know.
I mean,
right? Like
well,
he didn't get
we can
confirmed.
unpack it.
Yeah.
He didn't get confirmed. He just withdrew. There were private conversations. I didn't see any one of my colleagues put out a statement saying, this is horrible. We cannot have, as the Attorney General, a man who a Republican Oversight Committee found had credible allegations and evidence, right? Evidence of having sex with children and paying them for it. There was none of that. It was just, he just withdrew and then went about his life to whatever he's doing. What I'm asking for is to bring the same accountability, the same call for stepping down, not having more power that we saw this week. I want to see that continue. And that is what I'm calling for.
So if you would like to see more sort of profiles in courage, more Republicans stepping out and calling out bad behavior, I would say, like, I 1,000% agree with that. I think there is too much, especially people are willing to give men in power like, well, you know, you never know what happened. There's sort of that attitude. And I do think the Republican Party shows that attitude. I don't think the Democratic Party is exactly in the clear on this one either. I see it, you know, as a general societal issue. I'm not sure this is 100% political, but I do think that Republicans are more willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Let me ask you this: since you're calling for profiles in courage, you're calling for, you know, people with credible allegations to be asked to get out. Where is that same kind of profile and courage with kicking out Senator Nicole Mitchell, who's got felony charges, more than credible accusations of a felony burglary for her situation? Where is that on the Democratic side?
Well, I mean, a number of my colleagues on the Democratic side have certainly called for her resignation. And I, up until, you know, yesterday, have never called for a member's resignation before. Not when I was sexually harassed by my colleagues in both parties. Yeah. Not when members have pleaded guilty to driving under the influence, not when they've stolen money, assaulted nurses and cops, not when they were charged with property crimes. And I just don't want to conflate, you know, trying to arrange to pay for sex with a child with any of the things I just said.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think we have to. I think we can have the conversation about the consequence when it comes to being elected official without in any way conflating the behavior, the accused behavior, right? We don't need to scorecard like what's the worst of the worst. I think for me, like, this guy is pretty easy, right? Like, there was no hesitation for anybody calling this sort of stuff out. But I do wonder if we need maybe some standards and say, if you've been arrested on a gross misdemeanor, you should take a leave. And if you've been arrested and charged with a felony, you should resign. If the voters want to send you back, that's fine. But I don't know if we should have people sitting in office that have felonies that they're fighting.
And you're certainly welcome to have that opinion. And there, you know, I will say that when I came forward about my own sexual harassment at the legislature, and it was about a member of my own party, and the first question I was asked was, should he resign? And I specifically did not ask for his resignation because for me, it is such a high threshold to make that call. We reached it this week, right? But I really think that it's important that we make sure that we have really high standards for those things, because it does deprive voters of a duly elected member of representation in the legislature. And
do
there are members who have been.
Do you think your party did enough to come to your defense back when you were sharing your really horrible and disgusting allegations? Were people coming to your defense? I feel like maybe not.
I will say I did feel
anyway.
really supported. Yeah, I felt supported when I came forward about the member of my own party. There was swift condemnation both sides. When I came forward about a member in the Republican Party, slightly less, but I did have members, especially privately in the House on both sides, really come forward and say, thank you and I'm sorry. So, you know, it was a tough time, but But profiles encourage, right? Sometimes hard things need to be said in public.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that you kind of brought this issue up. I think my initial reaction was to bristle at painting with a broad brush, but I do think it's worth both parties taking a look at their own house and saying, like, are we doing enough to make sure we get rid of this type of, and by saying predatory, I think there is predatory behavior, especially when you see a power imbalance. And, you know, we do need to call that out. So I think it's a discussion that's worthy of being had.
Well, and I appreciate you having it. I'm glad we were able to get to clarity on what I'm
you
saying.
are getting roasted for sure on social media. I'm sure you're getting some, I don't know what, you're getting some support as well, but people are letting you have it. That's for sure.
Well, that's why I'm not on Twitter. So
must be nice. Must be nice.
It's lovely. Yeah.
State Senator Erin Maye Quade, we appreciate it. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Part of what we do here, let people kind of explain what they're talking about, where they're coming from, and then let you decide. That's State Senator Erin Maye Quade here on Drive Time with DERUSHA.
More Drive Time with DERUSHA is on the way following these messages on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Let's put your arms wide out. Let's do the Lindahl, everybody. It's Jason DeRusha here for my friend, Chris Lindahl. I love Chris. He is a great guy. He is an innovator, and if you need to sell your house and do it quickly, chrislindahl.com is where you should start. Now, last night, Lindahl was at the Wild game, and they've got a bit on the scoreboard. I saw this picture on a friend of mine, because Chris doesn't post this stuff on his Instagram. He should, because it's so funny. Here's Chris on the giant scoreboard at the XL Energy Center, arms wide out, and there's him on the foreground with his arms wide out and then, like, just chucking T-shirts out into the crowd. There's a sense of fun to it. He gets it. He gets the bit. But all of this is designed to create the biggest market possible for your home so you can sell your home quickly. You can make maximum money. No stress, no pressure, no issues. Chris Lindahl has you covered. His team is the best of the real estate business. They will get you top dollar for your home with zero stress. No open houses, no sign in the front yard, no neighbors going through your crap. You are in control. You pick your closing date. You decide when to move. They'll even work with you on that. It's pretty amazing. If you've got a house you want to unload, do not wait for the spring selling season and all the competition to come to market. Get to chrislindahl.com and do it today.
Get into your local running store Tuesday and Wednesday, March 25th and 26th, where everything is on sale. Well, almost everything. For 2 days, save 10% on almost everything in the store. This includes regular, clearance, and sale-priced items, shop clothing, footwear, sporting goods, houseware, snacks, hardware, fishing and hunting, and so much more. Bring the family to your local running store and save 10% on almost everything in the store. Go to runnings.com for more information and to find a store near you. Runnings, now with 82 locations, your local home, farm, and outdoor store.
Hi, I'm Mike Koinen. Join me for Retirement Reality this Sunday at 6:30 a.m. We'll talk about building a retirement plan you can trust and avoiding common mistakes. Start your Sunday smart with me this Sunday at 6:30 a.m. on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Adam Carter back on CCO for my friends at Dodge of Burnsville, the DOB. And you know this, nobody moves more Ram trucks. That's why they're the king of Ram. Most inventory? Check. Most Rams sold? Check. And how about top-notch service? Yes, another check. Right now at the Dodge of Burnsville, they got some seriously low rates on new Ram trucks. How low, you ask? What if I told you they have 1.9% for 72 months on select 2025 Ram 1500s? 1.9%. Lease one right now. I'm talking about a brand new Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for just $365 a month. And if any of you are driving Chevys or Fords or whatever, get an extra $1,500 if you're driving a Chevy, Ford, GMC. And for those of you leasing a current Ram truck, you get an extra $2,000 off. Those deals are red hot right now, and those rates are so low at the DOB. Take advantage. Come find your new truck today. 35 and Cliff, or shop online at thekingofram.com.
This is Drive Time with DERUSHA.
Most of it is just senseless, ignorant drivel. And I go, why do I even want to hear anything you have to say?
That's exactly right.
When the ignorance is this willful.
Yeah.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Spring training baseball is on the air at 5 o'clock tonight. So make sure you stick around for that on CCO. You can always rewind if you are listening to our interviews. Go to YouTube is a great way to do it. You can see we got a question on, I think on the Facebook feed, Dan. Oh, it was Bill on Facebook who wanted to know why we're dressed up. I got to say, for a couple of radio guys, we look fabulous today. You don't think you look that good?
I'll take the compliment.
I think you look great.
I appreciate that.
You think I don't look good? Is that what you're saying?
Not at all. But you always look good, and I always just look like I look. So I don't know.
I think you look very nice. You
it
got Dan's got a vest.
Yeah, but I wear a vest all the time.
Well, can't you just take a compliment?
I'm taking the compliment. I just don't.
I mean, do you have to do this?
Dressed up to me says
Tie?
different than usual.
Oh,
right. And that's where I'm like, I don't know.
Today I have a sweatshirt on. It's
how many layers you got?
Just two. It's a sweatshirt from Houston White.
Do you have anything under the sweatshirt at all?
No, just
isn't that kind of itchy?
Barebacking it. That's what they call it. No,
didn't really want to go that way.
Is that too much?
A little bit.
No, it's not itchy.
Okay.
I've been experimenting with no undershirt, trying to cut a layer.
Well,
you know me.
The temperatures are warming up.
4 or 5 layers. Yeah, this is from Target. This sweatshirt.
Target has sneaky good clothes.
This is like $35.
Yeah.
And then the sport coat is from Target too. So Houston White just trying to support Minneapolis businessman, North Minneapolis, Camden Town. He's got that coffee shop, the Get Down Coffee Shop. He's got a clothesline. He's kind of an inspiration to me. Should I have a clothing
You do your
line?
JH and Sons, and you do your Target.
All
over the place.
You gotta
mix it up.
My guy Kevin is like, you're allowed to shop at other places.
Absolutely.
He doesn't love it.
Well, he's got a business, dude.
You guys are allowed to listen to other radio stations.
That's right.
Like from 9
why you
a.m.
would,
till
but-
9 a.m. till 3. Do
Oh,
whatever
there's
you
that.
want.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Do whatever you want. So that's that. Winter is over. Today the official first day of spring. It's
I
not the
believe so.
first full day.
No, I think it was
Because spring started
9 o'clock UTC. So whatever that
I
converts
think
to.
that's right. The vernal equinox.
Yes, I love that term.
And the vernal equinox means what?
It means that it's equal 12 hours sunlight.
I think
or is that
so.
the equal? Or that's the?
I think that's what the equinox.
Or is that the
is.
solstice is? That might be the solstice, though.
Well, what is the equinox then?
I don't know. I should know that.
You're like
I know.
space guy.
I know. I should know that.
The equinox is when the subsolar point appears to leave the southern hemisphere and cross the celestial equator.
Well, there you go.
I have no idea what any
I
of that
have
means.
Not a clue. It means it's spring.
It does mean it's spring.
Yes.
Winter was a bit of a dud, don't you think?
Kind of a couple duds in a row now. I mean, it was only 2 years or 3 years ago that we had like 98,000 inches of snow, but
I don't mind it.
I'm okay with a dud of a winter. Yeah.
I do think it's strange though. Like, remember Laura and I were doing all this big talk that I was going to do some cross country skiing.
Yeah. I remember that.
But I feel like we didn't really have enough snow.
Not that much.
We did have a couple of cold stretches, but the biggest cold stretch, we were in Florida.
We were in Florida for that one.
So
sorry.
If I wasn't there, did it even
Didn't
happen?
happen.
It didn't happen. There is a sign of spring on the horizon, and I saw it when I was over at the Galleria today because the flowers are already being set up. The spring flower show is going to be unbelievable. We are going to visit with Susie Bachman West from Bachman's as they get ready for the Galleria. There's some information you guys are going to need because last year, this Galleria flower show was bananas. So we'll visit with Susan in just a minute here on Drive Time.
Jason DeRusha and Drive Time needs to make a brief pit stop on News Talk 830 WCCO. The players aren't the only ones who have to get ready for the season. It's time for you to limber up too. Practice your home run cheer.
Yes! Woo!
Perfect that 7th inning stretch. Timing your snack runs to avoid missing key plays. Yelling, "You betcha!"
You betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
And close calls that go our way. Twins baseball is almost here. Get your rally caps ready and keep tuned here for every pitch, hit, and exciting play. News Talk 830 WCCO.
March is National Sleep Month, and who among us doesn't want to sleep better? Well, Jordana here, and I want to share some information from my friends at Mini Leaf. If you like to late night snack, okay, we all know that's not so great for our sleep. It also interferes with melatonin production. It makes it harder to fall asleep. But here's the deal. If you're truly hungry at night, you can opt for a small protein-rich snack, like a little Greek yogurt or handful of nuts. And along with this, the effectiveness of the Sleep Night gummies from Mini Leaf is improved. I use these to get off Ambien when I needed to get off pharmaceuticals. I wanted to, and they helped me so much, and they can help you too. For National Sleep Month, make your sleep a priority. By the way, Mini Leaf is offering a buy two, get one free on the Sleep Night gummies during the month of March. Do yourself a favor. Sleep better. Let Mini Leaf help. MINNELEAF.com. Tell them Jordana sent you.
At Metro Heating and Cooling, we offer the highest quality products at comfort zone pricing. We won't try to sell you what you don't need. Metro Heating and Cooling and Plumbing. Honest, reliable, and affordable.
Metro Heating and Cooling.
MetroHeating.com.
At the University of Minnesota, our goal is to make sure what happens in Minnesota doesn't stay in Minnesota, because the discoveries we're making have implications for the health of the world. From the cancer-detecting AI model we built in Rochester, to how we're redefining mental health in Morris, to breakthroughs we're making in Crookston, Duluth, and the Twin Cities. Our discoveries start here, but they make the world healthier everywhere. The University of Minnesota, driven to discover.
Denny Long back once again with Ron Esau from Great Garage Floors. Ron and his company came out to my house years ago, and I love that epoxy floor. I know we're going to talk about how easy it is to keep clean, Ron, but there's absolutely no pressure, is there?
Yeah, we just come out really to try to educate the customer on how we do our process, and we give you a quote, and there's really no pressure to get it done. We want you to think about your spring projects, line them up, and if this is a priority this year, we'll get it done for you.
And you bring samples of that work too, don't you?
You sure bet we do.
And this is a good time of year, not only, to keep the garage floor clean for spring and summer and fall, but graduation parties. We always like to talk about that too, don't we?
Yeah, they come up and, this is the backup room. This is the backup room for that rain that may come, or a big windy day, or you want to set up the buffet. It's a nice, good-looking spot to do that.
952-473-8600, or get on the web at greatgaragefloorsforyou.com.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
The crash still working on westbound 394 Worth Parkway off to the right side. Traffic is jammed up in both directions for 394 between Worth and I-94. South 35W slowing into Minneapolis past University. If you're leaving downtown, South 35W congested as well from I-94 all the way down to Highway 62. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Gutman Law, Wills Trust, and Probate Law, bringing us the forecast from Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer. Chris,
Clouds move in tonight as we cool back to 34. We'll call tomorrow a mostly cloudy day. Should warm up to about 49. We will have some afternoon rain showers that pass by. Most will stay dry. A few of you could catch a few sprinkles. The wind is going to pick up from the northwest behind that line, and we will see cooler air move in. Low 40 Saturday and Sunday with rain showers back on Sunday. Snow makes it in late.
Right now in downtown Woodbury, it is 46 degrees on CCO.
Jason DeRusha
He is a national treasure. Like, we need that guy in our life.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm at Bachman's. I'm at Bachman. Thank you. I'm at the Galleria in Edina today, and I saw the flowers and some of the displays starting to show up. We are a couple of days away from one of the most popular events over in the Twin Cities, I think, because it gives that sense that spring is almost here. Susan Bachman West from Bachman's is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline, because we want to talk about this unbelievable flower show that's about to happen at the Galleria. Susan, good to visit with you.
Great visiting with you. And you know what? Happy first day of spring.
Right? Why not? Why not? It's time. It's time. And it's called this year the Floral Escape to Paradise, right?
Escape to Paradise. And so whether you were able to go somewhere else on spring break or not, go to the Galleria, because you're going to feel like you're in paradise. Just throughout the whole mall, a rainbow of florals and tropicals, and just an amazing experience.
So I've seen some of the pictures of a couple of the installations that you guys are working over. What? You're working over at the headquarters on Lyndale in South Minneapolis on designing all this stuff?
So between our design team and then the designer at the Galleria, Brian Kramer, it takes almost an entire year to bring the concepts and everything to life. And then we grow the plants and in our greenhouses and produce them. And then overnight, in multiple evenings, they install it at the Galleria. So come Sunday, the official day on March 23rd, the full install will be in, and it's a 15-day show until April 6th.
Wow. And it's free. And last year it was, I don't want to say bedlam, but it was sort of close to bedlam. Like, there was so much excitement. It was hard to find a parking spot, especially like on the weekend and near Easter. It was just bananas, wasn't it?
So, you know,
in a good way.
Kind of like in a good way. It's it's kind of like the right to spring, right? To come to the Galleria and Bachman Floral Experience. But it's a free show. There'll be plenty of parking in the ramps, and just make an entire day an experience of it, seeing the florals, going to the shops, the restaurants, and embrace all the beauty of the garden.
Go see my friends at JH and Sons. That's where I've been getting my clothes lately. So that they appreciate if you stop in and say hi. It is for your designers and your team. It must be fun because you're sort of a little bit stepping on the gas of the season, right? You're generating this sort of spring experience indoors that we all wish we were ready to rock outdoors, but we're not quite there yet.
We are, right? It's kind of that pent up. We all just want to get out into our yards and gardens, but it's just a little bit too early. Mother Nature hasn't, quite woken up yet and not ready. So go to the Galleria and you can get your fix and what is coming in the near future that you can enjoy in your garden. It is inspirational.
Susan Bachman West is with us from Bachman's. And as you look at, the designs this year, the theme is that escape to paradise. And I was reading that you guys are doing a giant giraffe. Is that going to be the showstopper? What's the showstopper going to be, you think?
Jason, in my opinion, there's a few showstoppers. Right. So there is a giant giraffe. There are great. There's like mannequins that are in animal.
I've seen,
print.
like some of this.
There's a breathtaking gown of hundreds of yellow flowers in it. So there's a lot of showstoppers and plenty of picture-taking opportunities.
15 days. It starts March.
It starts Sunday, March 23rd, and runs 15 days until April 6th.
Is it hard to keep the flowers alive that whole time? 15 days seems like, because obviously you're decorating right now. You're getting ready for it now. So you're probably trying to keep them alive for 21 days or so, right?
Well, we will go in every single evening and early morning, and anything that needs to be replaced, we will swap it out with new material, and we water and take care of the plant material. So whether you come on the first day or you come 10 days in, you will have the same experience of an amazing show.
How expensive is this, Susie? This sounds very expensive to replace all those flowers all the time.
You know what? It's to see the joy of people experience it. You know, the Galleria has been an amazing partner along with us, and it just brings so much joy to the Twin Cities community.
Yeah, you guys have been doing cool displays and cool shows out there for a long time. So I read you got more than 100 species of trees, shrub. I don't know. Are you in the mood? Are you ready to go? We haven't had a ton of snow. I see nothing but brown out there. Are you ready? Are you ready for some color?
I am ready for some color. You know, when we have winters that there's very little snow and it's just so brown and gray, I feel just as color starved with that landscape as when it's all white. So, you know, when you see
what's the first sign? What's the first sign for
hydrangeas-
you at your house when something pops up?
Oh, when the little crocus kind of start popping up in amongst all my, you know, in my shade garden with my hostas and things like that. The hostas aren't up yet, but the little crocus, and then you'll start seeing some of the daffodils. That's the sign for me.
So you're not like the cobbler who has like holes in his shoes. You've got a nice looking garden and everything at your house.
I have a nice looking garden. I am going to admit that maybe my garden gets installed a tinge bit later than some other people's, but I personally love to garden. So it gets in and it gets swapped out with the different seasons. It might just be, you know, a week or two later. And I have been known to garden by the headlights of my vehicle as well.
You're working all day. That's sort of how that goes. Well, I'm excited for the show out at Galleria. My pro tip is to go on a weekday, go early or late if you can. But you can go on the weekend and have all. Last year, Alyssa and I went twice. I just thought it was so fun. And it does, like, just the smell of the whole mall feels like spring. It does get you in the mood.
And going multiple times is a great point, Jason, because you will see different things, right? Because you'll come at it from a different angle. And for children, there are little hidden tree frogs amongst all the tropicals, and see if you can find them.
I love it. Instagram's going to be lit up with people's pictures, I'm sure.
That's great.
That's the idea.
Sign of spring.
That's right. That is a sign of spring, too. Susan Bachman-West from Bachman's. We appreciate it. Thanks, Susie.
Thank you.
6th annual. They've been doing this for 6 years. Escape to Paradise. Look, not everybody's going on spring break. So maybe you just want to go down to Edina and check that out. I thought it was worth spending a little time on that. Pretty fun stuff. 447, one more segment. I want to talk about going on vacation. And you are, maybe you're going to be astonished. Maybe you're going to be horrified as to who we're turning this show over to tomorrow. We'll talk about it in just a minute here on CCO.
Don't touch that dial. More Drive Time with DERUSHA coming up on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, just today I was talking to my friend Dave. You know, we're talking about the sign of spring. We're talking Pro Turf season. It's Jason here for the absolutely awesome team at Pro Turf. Pro Turf, here's what Dave was telling me about Pro Turf. A couple things I want to tell you. One, when it comes to like the lawn care, I used Pro Turf last year. I immediately signed up again this year. They do in-person estimates. That is unusual today when people are sort of using Google Maps and all this sort of thing. They do it in person. They came to my house. They looked at my lawn. We talked through the tough spots, the challenges, the shade from certain trees, and they designed a solution just for me. They use some liquid, some granular, because it's designed for you. It's not just a one-size-fit-all solution. I like that a lot. They also do irrigation systems, and they turned on my irrigation. One thing Dave was telling me from Pro Turf, that so many people put in an irrigation system and never get it serviced. You are putting yourself in a tough spot there, because then you might be in trouble. Go get it serviced. Have somebody come and turn it on in the spring. So that way, all season, you're optimizing the water usage. You're not wasting it. You make sure everything's working. You're in much better shape than waiting till the fall. ProTurf has you covered there. And their irrigation guys work for the company for 20 years. Then they do landscape design. Go to professionalturf.com where you can see some of the amazing, I'm telling you, you spend money inside your house, you get almost 100% return on investment if you do the outside of your house. And there are some game changers at professionalturf.com. Give them a call at 952-469-8680. Or just go to that website, professionalturf.com.
Construction problems come with challenges, but legal issues shouldn't be one of them. At Helmuth & Johnson, we focus on construction law, protecting contractors, developers, and business owners from costly disputes. From contract negotiations to litigation and compliance, we make sure your projects stay on track and your interests stay protected. Whether it's a delay, a dispute, or a deal, we've got you covered. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Get into your local running store Tuesday and Wednesday, March 25th and 26th, where everything is on sale. Well, almost everything. For 2 days, save 10% on almost everything in the store. This includes regular, clearance, and sale-priced items, shop clothing, footwear, sporting goods, housewares, snacks, hardware, fishing and hunting, and so much more. Bring the family to your local running store and save 10% on almost everything in the store. Go to runnings.com for more information and to find a store near you. Runnings, now with 82 locations, your local home, farm, and outdoor store.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Now on CCO, let's do traffic and weather together. First, a check of the drive and what shape the roads are in.
Things are jammed up for westbound 694 as you move away from Highway 10, heading out to Highway 100. East 36, watching slowdowns there, Cleveland Avenue over to Lexington. West 94 into downtown Minneapolis, that's all jammed up as you make way past Riverside. And looks like we have a crash working 35W southbound as you make way toward 50th Street. Look for the left lane to be affected. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
In its centennial year, the DAV of Minnesota remains dedicated to helping thousands of veterans access the benefits they've earned. And you can make a difference. Volunteer to transport veterans, advocate for improved programs, or donate today at davmn.org.
Forecast time with an update on current conditions and a quick look at what's ahead the next few days.
Weather's brought to you by DAV of Minnesota. And it's D's. Tonight, low of 34. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Isolated afternoon. Sprinkles high of 49. On Saturday, it's 43. Right about average. Average is 44. Probably rain on Sunday. What do I care? I'm going to Miami. Sorry. Right now, it is 46 on CCO.
Drive Time with DERUSHA. Now video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
So I've mentioned that I am going on spring break.
You did?
That's true.
Boy, I would have thought you might have mentioned that a little more often.
I mean, sadly, I didn't get my hotel sponsored like we did when we went to Fort Myers. Like that.
You'd worked a little harder, Jason.
But a nice deal. We're going down to take a look at a college. Sam got into a college down there in Miami, Florida. So off we go. And it'll be a fun little vacation. Seth is flying down from New York.
Oh, nice.
So I thought like University of Miami is a little cheaper than USC, the other school that one of the other schools that Sam got into.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, maybe if Seth takes Sam out on the town in Miami and then saving me a couple of
always got to have an
couple of shackles. Always exciting to turn over the show to Dan Cook. Dan is hosting the show tomorrow.
I am.
You got a producer and everything.
I got
Tubbsy?
a producer and everything. This is gonna be fun.
What I love about this, maybe more than anything, I love that you're filling in for the show. And
Appreciate that.
you're gonna have you'll still play Card to Shark.
Yes, we'll do Card to Sharks. We'll do 3 Disasters and Puppies and plenty of other good stuff too.
But what I especially love is we are undergoing a little bit of a studio transformation.
Yes, we are.
Here.
Yes, we are.
So the board that Dan, where we fire the commercials and turn on the microphones and take the phone calls, the board that we are currently using is 15 or 20 years old.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
And so they're replacing it. We
Yes.
have a new board. It's in the other room.
Yes.
But to do that, it's difficult to do when you're an on-the-air radio station.
Yeah.
So I think they're starting the process as soon as we get off the air.
Yeah,
right?
as soon as we're pretty much done.
Is that why there are all these people standing around?
I sure hope so. Otherwise, we're in big trouble.
Like, is this HR? What's going on?
No, that was
so. Tomorrow you'll be in the studio right next to us.
Yes.
And I don't know if any of this crap is going to work, so I'm leaving the state.
Yes, neither do we.
What do I?
Just going to make this all kinds of fun. But I sort of figure, because they're doing it tonight, right? So Vanita will have done her show. Adam and Joe Dan will have done their show. Cat will have done his show. So hopefully all the bugs will be worked out before I get.
By the time we get to you, we'll either be simulcasting the Jack FM or the Wolf. Is that what that other station?
Yes.
I can never remember.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
It's the Wolf. Do they do like a howling thing?
I have no idea.
Oh, the Wolf! We need a howl.
You're going on vacation, huh?
That doesn't sound like it. I'll miss you guys. I'm lying. I'll see you Wednesday.
Hey, it's Rita. Have you had that neighbor with a for sale sign in their yard for